Hi, welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited e-learning program of Azure Public Cloud Training. Myself, Ilan Cherian, Technical Director at Comet Computer Private Limited. So in this video, we'll discuss how to change the size of a virtual machine. We'll move on to the demonstration. See, while creating a virtual machine, we used to define the size for the virtual machine based on the number of virtual CPU, number of the capacity of the RAM and the disk capacity, all the configuration we define. Well, later on, if the virtual machine uh, load requirement varies, so we may require some higher configuration server or we may require a low configuration server. So in that case, we can change the size at any point of time you need. So now I'm into the virtual machine VM01, and you can see the virtual machine size was standard DS1 and V2, which has one vCPU and 3.5 GB of memory. So later I decide that this resource is not enough, so I need to add some more resource. So adding the customized resource is not possible. Instead of that, we can change the size of the instance. So to change the size of the instance under virtual machine settings, you can select a size. So here you can find all the sizes available. So from which you can choose whichever the size you want. Right now we are running with DS1 V2. If I want to change this to D2S, it means that this particular size has two vCPUs with 8 GB of RAM, and with four data disk we can attach up to four data disk, and also the maximum disk IOPS is supported up to 3200. So that I'll go with this size. So you can choose whichever the new size for your virtual machine, select that particular size and then press resize. And also you can find my virtual machine is connected right now. Let us see what happens while resizing the instance. When I press on resize, so there is no warning message. It starts executing the resizing command. So it will take a few minutes to complete this because your virtual machine will be ported to a new size. So all your application data, everything will be remaining on a new size virtual machine. So this kind of scaling, we call it as a vertical scaling. So vertical scaling is changing the size of the virtual machine, that is adding more resource or reducing the resource, which we call it as vertical scaling. So always vertical scaling is recommended for a computing environment where the dynamic contents are saved, like a database server, so or even a file server. So in that cases, horizontal scaling might not be an option. So in that case, we can go with this kind of vertical scaling. But mostly this kind of vertical scaling requires a downtime because we are changing the complete size of the virtual machine. Obviously, downtime is required here. This will disturb the service. So it is taking a few more minutes. And also, while the resizing is under progress, you'll also get the information here. You can see here if the virtual machine is currently running, change its changing its size will cause it to be restarted. So stopping the virtual machine may reveal the additional size. So that's what it's very clear that changing the virtual machine size will create a downtime. So now we can see the size resizing the virtual machine is done. So we can verify the size of the virtual machine over here. We'll just refresh the page. So you can see the virtual machine now got two virtual CPUs and 8 GB of memory, and also the remote desktop connection was disconnected since the virtual machine size was increased, that is changed. So the virtual machine went off and now it is up. We'll just connect and verify. Giving the same credential. So except the hardware configuration, everything remains the same. That is the operating system, application, data, configuration. So whatever you had in the previous virtual machine, you'll have the same on the new virtual machine. So we are into the same virtual machine, and also we'll check the resource. So earlier we had 3.5 GB of RAM, now we have 8 GB of RAM. So earlier we had only one core processor, now we have two core processor. We can just check in the task manager. So under performance we can verify the cores. So here you can see it has two virtual processor. So this is how you can change the size of a virtual machine. And that's all for the video now. The next video will discuss the rest of the configurations. Until then, bye bye.